to the Partnership Publishing Podcast. Today we are joined by David Youell, author of SeaMouse Builds a Boat. Welcome,
Hello.
David.
Hello.
Hi. It's an absolute pleasure to be finally having this podcast conversation with you.
Thank you. It's exciting.
Yeah. And for those that don't know anything about SeaMouse, we have been in love with SeaMouse now for about a year. Maybe share a little bit about SeaMouse, where the inspiration came from, the idea. Yeah, I'm sure we'd
Yes.
love to know more.
Yeah, certainly. So I've always been into creative writing. It's been a passion of mine, since an early age.
Mm.
Always had ideas for various different children's books, and always dreamed of obviously publishing my own book. And the inspiration for SeaMouse came from my own childhood. So I always remember times at the seaside, living in the Midlands. I was always, a good 2 hours from any beach. So any trip to the seaside with grandparents, was really cherished, and it's part of like a lot of my happy memories come from those times. Yeah, so that provided a perfect setting for my book. And yeah, I just went from there. And the inspiration for SeaMouse was again from my own childhood, but to celebrate my son's birthday and my own journey in becoming a father for the first time. I wanted something to make him proud, basically, and just like from the heart.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly. And I remember that was incredibly significant for us and why we're able to keep that publication date as well, the exact
Yes,
same.
yeah. So it was published on his birthday, on his first birthday. So that's something which really pulls on the heartstrings, and
Yeah.
hopefully, as he grows up, he can look back on and I've done him proud, really, and it might
Yeah.
even inspire him to do his own stories, which
Oh,
which would be amazing.
that really would be incredible, wouldn't it? I think as any writer, and we meet so many becoming an author, I think that is something, isn't it, that naturally to leave not necessarily a legacy in the ego sense, but
Mm.
just that achievement and
Yeah.
showing that anything is possible.
Yeah, which is one of the messages in the book. To always follow your dreams. No dream is too big, and if it's worth chasing, you follow it from the heart, and that's what. Like I say, the journey to become a father, was quite a long journey, and when we finally got there with my partner, it was the best thing ever, and and hopefully the same message is passed on in the book with SeaMouse, and as he follows his journey, and he's determined to, as I say, build his own boat
Yeah.
and follow his dreams.
He did. He built his own boat and followed his dreams. For those that can actually see us, maybe share a
Yeah.
little bit of what Seamouse, at least the cover, looks like. There it is. Yeah.
There he is. He's there, happy.
Gorgeous.
Proudest punch there. Look.
Yeah. He's very proud. Beautifully illustrated. How did you find that journey of there's been someone that you've been able to engage with that's kind of delved into your brain, if you like, your vision, and been
Yes.
able to produce yeah, how was that journey? Because for a lot of people listening, they may be considering it or embarking on their own journey, but
Yeah.
also wanting to know,
I think
yeah,
finding the right illustrators important. Because you've got your own vision of how you visualize the character to be and how you want Sea Mouse to appear. And I looked at various different illustration styles, and Martinus, who I found I loved his work, saw work previously, and I thought, yes, I can actually see
yeah,
SeaMouse as his design. And when I engaged with Martinus and explained how I wanted him to look and act, he was able to add things I hadn't even thought about, like with moods and like expressions, and it was perfect to see like how I visualize SeaMouse come alive, and
amazing.
the illustrations really accompany um, the story in itself, and it's just perfect. It really was, and
Yeah,
yeah, so full credit to Martinus for making the dream come true, and I
yeah.
love the illustrations. They're perfect.
That's incredible. And it is, for those that are listening, it is an incredibly beautifully illustrated children's picture book, Seamouse Builds a Boat. And I think it was so important to get that detailing and the expressions, you're right, because, as he's building a boat, and I think There's actually a really beautiful part of the book actually after the story ends. There's like extra added features there, and the illustration style works perfect throughout, not just for characters, but for the building of a boat. And you have some extra activities. So the story ends, but it doesn't really end. It's
No.
fantastic.
When does a story end? It's only like it's
Yeah,
only just the beginning. So
yeah, yeah.
I don't know if anyone can see there. So once children
Brilliant.
finish their book, they can actually go on their own journey and create their own scenic blue, as these boats called, but they can
Yeah,
call it and decorate it how they wish.
yeah,
So, and this is an activity they can do with their friends, parents, guardians, and
yeah.
and carry on that story really, and
Even
hopefully
in schools, it's honestly,
even schools, anyone,
yeah.
adults can even build
Oh,
one and
it's such a
have
activity.
competition. And
Yeah,
I remember when growing up, I used to go down the local stream with my grandfather, and I'd always be in his kitchen looking for the butter cup or the egg carton to be empty, creating these little boats to race in the streams, having competitions, and and they were the great memories, and I don't think kids do it enough at the
no,
minute, whether
no.
they're on
And
the Xbox or PlayStation.
yeah,
Get reading, creative. I just encourage all that, and
mm,
those are memories I just cherish, and
yeah.
I can have with my own little boy, and and we can
I think
create our own.
absolutely. And I think that's what SeaMouse kind of encapsulates for us. And
Yeah,
what we love so much is your publishers, and what we felt with this was the interactive element of
mm,
SeaMouse, and that yes, you're reading, but for a children's book, the engagement is there,
yeah,
the adventure is there, and for a very simple but such an effective activity. And like I say, one of our big pushes for next year and World Book Day and beyond is how we can get SeaMouse out within education, within schools, and kind of known as that figure and that character
yeah,
out there. It's an egg box with a straw. Make a
yeah,
little bit of a raft. Like it is fantastic and it's so simple. But because it's got that engagement, we find now that children are just absolutely loving reading that and enjoying it. And it creates the experience. It's not just a reading moment that's maybe forgotten. We are creating those experiences for those moments in time that you don't get back, but they are remembered and cherished for forever. So
yeah.
no, credit to you and for the actual writing and the story content. Yeah, absolutely. How did you feel like how long did it take for the story and the idea to come? Like, did it take a while to write or?
I found the story writing part quite. It was a decent journey, to be honest. I wouldn't say it was easy. It was challenging in terms of keeping the idea of the story simple, but
Mm,
having the same depth to be engaged and keeping the readers interested and engaged, and at the same time wanting them to keep going back,
yeah,
but also giving out that message of like
yeah,
what he's striving to achieve, and hopefully the young readers can be inspired by that they can follow their own dreams and achieve whatever they wish to achieve.
yeah, yeah. No, that's incredible. And I think that's it, isn't it? The core themes and the message of Sea Mouse Builds a Boat are so strong and empowering in that sense.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those books you can't go wrong. Like you're picking it up, you're reading it, you know that only good can come
Yeah.
out of this. And
Determined, resilience, teach resilience in young readers as well. And if I can inspire young readers to say follow their dreams, stay determined. No dreams too big. I know I've mentioned that before, but just follow the heart, and
yeah,
you can achieve it.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just the start for SeaMouse. He's built his boat now, so where's he going next? Only time's going to tell.
Yes, you do actually share that at the back of the book. So it will be
Yeah.
interesting for those listening and watching. Stay tuned because yeah, where does Sea Mouse go next? Can you tell us more about maybe your own childhood with like those activities and kind of yeah, like turning recycled materials into into boats, I guess, and things like that. Obviously, it's stuck with you so much. I'm assuming there may be lots more ideas kind of percolating away.
Yeah.
What Sea
Yeah.
Mouse gets up to.
Oh, there's lots of ideas, and for SeaMouse, the world's his oyster. Like I say, he's going to sail into the big open world, and that's part of the vision which I see in the book as well. Little readers now, they're brought into a big, wide, open world. How they see things from their own perspective can be quite challenging, and hopefully, this book, inspires them to, they're okay. It's okay to be cautious. It's okay to be unsure about things, because they will understand that they can focus on it, and stick to their goals. But going back to my old childhood, yeah, I used to always be creative. As I say, I was very close to my grandfather. I'd always be looking for bits of wood, an empty egg box, the old fairy liquid bottles. Remember
Oh,
when you
classic. Yep.
making a rocket out of him and stuff? Maybe saying that's a rocket. We don't know,
Yeah. Who
but
knows?
who
The world
knows?
is his oyster.
Yeah, but I'm spending time with family. I'm a big family man, and
Mm.
that's the cherished memories. And I want to inspire my own little boy to be creative. Always recycle as well. There's so much good
Yeah.
things to be made out of now.
I was
So
going to say it's one of the core themes. We've talked a lot about resilience, kind of hope,
yeah,
like encouragement and inspiration from Seamouse's natural story. I think a lot of what's great about the writing as well is that there's a lot of relatability for children, but through the eyes of an animal, like through Seamouse. Um, Rather than looking at particularly a child within the book, they can see a lot of their emotions and feelings through Sea Mouse. But yeah, the recycling, it's subtly in there, it's woven throughout. But I think, again, naturally as publishers, that was something that we really wanted to make sure came through, particularly with how we then continue to promote and share this in the world, because he's a huge advocate for it,
yeah.
naturally.
I agree, and Seamouse is creative, he's imaginative. He sparks his own creative ideas. He goes out, he looks for all these items to build his boat after he's made his list. So he
Mm.
works out what he needs,
Yeah.
goes out and collects these items, builds it, puts it together, and he's got that sense of accomplishment at the end when he finally builds his boat. And like I say, he can be proud of that. And
Yeah.
and if by using the activity in the book, other young readers can go out and they can create their own. And
Yeah.
it doesn't have to stop there. They can go out and create other things for him. And you
Yeah,
know,
it is. It's that
there we go.
inspiration.
Yeah,
Honestly, even from speaking about it again right now, it's like, yeah, let's get the book out this evening. Let's read it. Let's enjoy
yeah,
it. And that sense of accomplishment, it is even just reading the story, but then knowing, oh no, we can then do a little activity. It's just more of that moment, more of that
yeah.
cherished
And
times.
the cherished memory for me, and it still melts my heart to the day, is my little boy's got lots of books, but when he picks his own book by his daddy and he asks me to read Seamouse, anytime,
That's
any
it.
time of the day, it's no problem. But
Yeah.
like I say, building a boat with him and spending them times, and it's brilliant. And then his friends come round, and they've built theirs, and competitions. The fun never stops.
That's incredible. No, the fun never stops. For those that are listening and watching and wanting to know more about David, his journey, Sea Mouse, and everything in between, and the activities, and to have a go, please do connect with us at Partnership Publishing, and also connect with David online. Just search, we're there. Any questions that you want to ask David, let us know, and we'll be in touch. But no, thanks ever so much for our conversation today,
It's
David.
been a pleasure. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I'm sure we will be speaking again. And thank you ever so much.
Thank you very much. Take care. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.